Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned. My friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, we are now live on another episode of The Dorkening. We're going to be talking about Mandalorian, the season finale, and we won't spoil it just yet. Maybe about 10 minutes and we will start spoiling it. Hey, what's going on there, James?
This is my festive attire for this evening, as it is Christmas Eve. I realized trying to find my Disney, as we are all owned by the mouse, I tried to find my Christmas sweater that I got when I was in Disney for my honeymoon. That's a size medium. I'm not that small anymore. Kind of outgrew it pretty quickly. And then I tried to find my Santa hat with the Mickey ears. That's gone. So I just steal my wife's mini ears as the most festive thing I could have. So,
well, you can't fit into the shirt now because you got the dad bod.
Yeah, how about that dad bod?
Hey, and also we got Chris joining us from Radio of Horror. How's it going, Chris?
What's up? I don't know if you can hear me very well.
Yes. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so we'll do a little spoiler free, but we really need to go into spoilers, and because this season
can't not go into spoilers talking about it.
You can do plenty without the spoilers.
So you basically just don't talk about the ending, huh?
There's plenty of the stuff that happened in that episode other than the ending.
Oh yeah. So season finale. We're not going to spoil it just yet. What did you think, James?
I liked it. To a point in which I even made a point in the show last week when we talked about the investors conference. It was pretty interesting that they left Boba Fett out of the list of things that was coming from Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So kind of seeing where that storyline is going, kind of is relaxing to a point in which you're going to see that story continue. Especially like as he really wasn't advertised that much in the episode to begin with. That was interesting. But the whole setup, it was a pretty fast moving episode. I very enjoyed the conversation between Moff Gideon and the Mandalorian in the brig. I thought that was very interesting. The following confrontation on the bridge, equally, like it was satisfying dialogue. It was very well, it pushed the plot in a new direction. It was just very, very well done. And again, that was done by Peyton Reed, who's doing all those Ant-Man movies.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting, like, how he's kind of been into it. And like I said, it just kind of sets up more stuff coming down the line. And I think that was a really good season finale because it ends some of the storylines, but it kind of expands on the stuff that's going to come in the future.
Yeah.
So, and again, the acting was fantastic. And again, we'll definitely go into the ending, which was awesome. But, leading up to that, the whole scene with Boba Fett and the other Mandalorian was interesting because it showed how old Boba Fett really was.
Yep.
And like some of this stuff works great, but then he can also get his ass kicked. But also the whole thing is, I've heard your voice 1,000 times. Like that stuff was kind of cool because it's true. Like she has heard that voice thousands of times. So stuff like that, little Easter eggs, the whole scene in the shuttle bay where, he goes, I was on the Death Star, and she goes, which one? And I kind of was like, realistically, that's a jab. That's a pretty good jab to have against an Imperial person. But that whole scene was very interesting because you kind of were and they built the tension very well. He just kept talking and talking and talking and just kind of twisting that knife. And I thought it was really well done. That scene, the pacing was good. Everything was good. So.
Yeah, totally agree. We didn't, during Investor Day, we did not get any hint of a Boba Fett show, which was absolutely insane. And last time, going into this, Grogu, Baby Yoda was taken, and they're trying to get a team together to rescue him. And one thing that I really enjoyed is they started showing more of the Imperial side. Like the raid on the base and everything, and they have everybody cheering, that the ship, the carrier ship, came through and stuff. So,
well, that was, that's always interesting because you don't get the Imperial side of the story that much.
Yeah,
you kind of get in hints with certain games because you want the rebellion. That's the New Republic. Those are the heroes. But you still have billions upon millions of people who are loyal to the Empire. So let's hear some of those stories.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of stories, and we can talk about this another time, but I did pick up Fallen Order, or Jedi Fallen Order, is it?
Oh, you'll have so much fun playing that, man. You'll have so much fun playing that.
This is your first time playing it?
No, I haven't played it yet. I just picked it up. It was.
That's what I mean. This is your first time. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll love it, dude. You'll spend a lot of time in it.
It's like the Spider-Man game. The Spider-Man game, you could do everything Spider-Man can do.
Yeah.
Do everything a Jedi can do. So cool.
And it builds in, it just fills in simple plot points and stuff like that. It's been really, really good. So,
yeah. Tom Morris Jr. says, I'm on my break at work right now, but just wanted to take the time to wish everybody at the Dorkening Podcast Network a very merry and safe Christmas. Season 2 of Mandalorian was absolutely awesome. So one thing that I didn't like in going into this, I got spoiled.
Dude, get off social media. The second I had a really good friend that I saw on Facebook being like, it's already been spoiled. Just stay off social media till I see it.
Yep.
And at that point I was like, that's awesome. Thanks for, kind of giving me the heads up on that. Because that could have been, very, very heartbreaking, especially, like I said, when we go into what the ending was. And I'm kind of glad that I saw it live.
Yeah, I was actually at the doctor's office. I didn't have a chance to watch it early. And, I'm just checking on my phone, checking my news. And then all of a sudden somebody did a post, hey, now that we know Grogu, and right there, just but we'll go into spoilers in a couple minutes here. Chris, what did you think of the season finale without spoiling it?
Is talking about the Dark Troopers spoilers?
No, because they already showed up in an episode.
Yep.
I have played a lot of those old 90s video games, and finally be able to see the Dark Troopers just like as Terminator-ish as they could possibly get. Those things are scary. And wow, I mean, I was really fearing. I was like, they're gonna kill the Mandalorian this episode, and someone else is gonna become the Mandalorian. It's gonna be Bo-Katan. It's gonna be someone else. It's gonna be Boba Fett show. I swear to God, I kept thinking the Mandalorian was gonna die in that fight.
I got a very Ray Harryhausen feel out of that. Did anybody else get that feel?
You mean with the rock'em sock'em robots?
Well, yeah, how they're moving, how it was like it seemed for a little bit seemed like stop motion, animation.
Yeah, those definitely had to be CGI, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it's okay. No, and Chris, I'm with you. Like I said, the movement was interesting in seeing the progression of the Dark Troopers, and even how they talked about being like, no, they're droids again. Like, to a point in which, the humanity was the only weakness left, was the human element. So like that was very interesting. But man, whatever with that soundtrack they had when the Dark Troopers on there was like on point. I was like, yes. I was like, yes. I was like, I want, yeah. Like I was sat there because that was very much like Tron, like that was like very much like Daft Punk, like Tron music, and I was like, oh, like I could definitely like put that in like my running mix or something like that and be like jazzed.
Somebody compared some of their.
I actually.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
You mentioned Harryhausen in February at the Boston Science Fiction Film Festival. Literally one of the last of the two big events in town before the week shut down. I met Ray Harryhausen's daughter.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because you mentioned Harryhausen.
Yeah, that's cool.
That cool.
What I was saying was somebody compared their movement to Terminator 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when they're opening one of the doors. They said that was
okay. I mean, they were just like,
yeah.
That's interesting. Like I said, I just felt like it was very much, very well done. You like I said, and again, and this is just. Jon Favreau did a good job with this. Dave Filoni did a good job with this. It was the pacing of these episodes, these last 5, 6, 7 episodes, which made it fantastic.
So I have a question. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have a question that's going to sound like Star Wars politics. And I don't mean like Trade Federation politics. What do you think Dave and John are doing so right that JJ and the director of episode 8 got so wrong?
Well, I think the big thing was, and I mean, you can ask the same thing with Garth Edwards. What do you get right in Rogue One? It's an original story. It's an original story in which has nothing to do with the Skywalkers. I think that's what makes it, though, some of this stuff very, very well and good. And you get this with The Mandalorian. It's its own story. It's a Western told in the Star Wars universe. It's not the same thing we've seen before, minus Firefly. But again, that's not in the Star Wars universe. But, I just think with JJ and Rian Johnson is you very much had Disney being like, we need to make this work. And so we're just going to do callbacks and they're going to drive this story, which again, I don't think they needed to do that. I was talking to Jen today because I got Logan Heir to the Empire, the first in the Thrawn trilogy.
Oh, nice.
I've been telling him to read that book for like 2-3 years now. And then he finally was like, oh, I'll read it now because they mentioned it in Mandalorian. So I was like, dude, it's awesome. And so we were talking about, I was like, they could have made a Mara Jade movie. If you want a strong female character, a Jedi bounty hunter, Mara Jade married to Luke Skywalker. Like, come on. Like, and that was my big thing is they didn't abandon the extended universe like Disney did. They went back and they're pulling good parts of this extended universe, as well as Dave Filoni is working with Lucas Lucas was there and with Jon Favreau, and if you listen to Dave Filoni in the gallery thing, he remembers George Lucas sat down with him and was like, "This is what," and like they talked about stuff, and I think that's what helps make these stories better. Is you got George Lucas involved in it. Kathleen Kennedy is not involved in it that heavily, not now, but it was like, it was just interesting. It was just very. I don't know. It's like lightning in a bottle, but I just think they are just playing with the toys and not trying to make something that's already been made. So, what about you, Leo?
Well, so with the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, it seemed like they were trying to shove stuff into your face. They were trying to do fan fiction, shove it into your face, and space politics, shove it into your face. And, like that whole casino scene and talking about, the rich taking advantage of the poor and, there's really no good and bad guys. Everybody's bad. That just ruined Star Wars, and it seems like, Dave Filoni and Favreau, they're really, they have the heart of Star Wars. You really feel it watching these episodes. And I mean, you're 2 seasons in, you're got the same amount of content as the trilogy, I would imagine, or close to it. And it's just, you hit it great, magic in a bottle, it's just, somebody showed a picture. They said, hey, here's Favreau and Filoni, planning next Star Wars. And it shows 2 kids playing with Star Wars toys. And it was, that's what it is. They understand what it is to be a Star Wars fan and what it is, to feel Star Wars. Like, watching Mandalorian season 1, you knew right away Star Wars is back. This is what Star Wars should be. This is like, we got the toys out and we're making our own storyline. It's just pure magic. It's just amazing. Absolutely love it.
You think that Kathleen Kennedy would also have that same type of attitude? She was the assistant to Lucas and Spielberg. I mean,
yeah, but why did she try to?
Like something got lost.
Yeah, she definitely lost something, and trying to make their own story. I mean, I don't know. You can't have something original and then it's hard to say what they did wrong, but space politics is a big part of it.
Well, no, it's also that you want to drag the widest net you can to get as many fans and butts in the seats.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And people are like, well, Kathleen Kennedy. I'm like, I honestly still believe that Kathleen Kennedy should not be the executive producer of any Star Wars. I think her time has kind of come and gone. But again, she's been the executive producer for Mandalorian. She's the executive producer on, Rogue One. She's involved in these meetings. I just feel like I think it was a lose-lose situation with Disney. I don't think unless because you were going to lose fans regardless to either the people who want just another Star Wars or the people who didn't want a new Star Wars, or no one was going to be happy with these movies.
Yep.
And
go for it, Chris.
No, I was coughing. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a lose-lose situation, especially when Disney came out and says they were retconning all the books. And I think that right off the bat put a sour taste in people's mind. Again,
that right there is what they should have done. They should have hired those people to write those movies. And the people writing the Marvel comic books should have been hired to write the movies. For God's sake, those Marvel comic books lately have been amazing.
And that's what it was done. Are you telling me that if you didn't want to jump back into the Star Wars trilogy, you want to start with the Thrawn trilogy as like, this is where we're picking up the story is all this time? Oh, you want to know more about it? Go read the books, and then you're double dipping now because people are going to go rebuy these books and Disney's going to get a cut of it. And to a point where I was talking to Logan in the car ride today, I was like, there's a book in the extended universe called Darksaber. And it's not the Darksaber from Mandalore. It's how the Hutts bought the plans for the Death Star and literally just built the laser. And they were going to use this as like a weapon to hold planets for hostage as protection money. And the Hutts got it. So of course it's going to be built cheaply because it's the Hutts, but there's this whole storyline of how they get the plans, where the plans are, where are they building this. So it's like a spy thriller, but in Star Wars, and you have Luke looking out in Rogue Squadron and Han and Leia and the kids. And it's like all this different things go into it. I'm like, I would pay to see that movie. Like if like the book is that good, you retconning 30 years of canon, you're gonna not get good stuff when you had it literally on the page at your disposal for you to use.
Yep, totally.
The biggest thing a lot of people did love about those books being wiped out is they brought Chewbacca back to life.
Well, and they said
only
that's
only to kill off Han and Leia. Leia obviously would have to die because Carrie Fisher did, but they just killed. It just seems like they substituted Chewie for Han.
Well, and they said early on in the rumor that came out of Disney after Last Jedi was the reason why they retconned everything was because of Chewbacca. And Chewbacca is a great way to sell toys and a great way to bring little kids into this thing. And I'm like, that is the dumbest reason to do it, because there's plenty of stories where Chewbacca doesn't die.
And if they didn't bring back Chewbacca, we wouldn't have the beloved Chewbacca mom.
Jesus, right? And then more Life Day coming out. Come on.
Did you see she's on Cameo charging $25 for a thing?
Good for her. That's all I can say is good for her.
Yeah, totally. Does she do it in the Chewbacca mask? And if she does, is Lucas going to go after her?
I think she gives it all to her church charity because she's very much a. Well, we're going to get into politics if I get any further with it, but yeah, she's very much a church person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seems like the movies was all about trying to sell, the toys. I mean, the porgs, they were throwing in, and what?
Don't you bring up my porgs.
They taste so good on a rotisserie.
They do.
So I mean, Mandalorian had a perfect opportunity for the biggest toy ever, and it turned out to be that. And they didn't allow any toys to be made until the spoiler had already been done, and that's we're talking about Baby Yoda here, and we'll go into spoilers here. With the possibility of him leaving the show, you think they're going to bring him back just for toys, or
no?
I think the story is done.
I think I realistically think I'm with Chris. I think this puts an end to this story because eventually, it's about the Mandalorian. It's his story, and Favreau and Fellini both said it was that in this story arc, you're going to see the rise of the First Order through his eyes and how he affects that. So,
right.
So that's going to be interesting because you're starting to see, like you said, you're seeing more of the Imperial side of the coin. And I think you're going to see a lot more of that. And especially with the fact that, again, Lee, I don't know if you have a spoiler warning, you can flash or yell or whatever. Because I'll wait till it's up there because, like I said, I don't want to spoil it because I don't want people to be mad at us and not listen to us, and I'm being generous. Fling, fling, dingling, bing, ding, dingling, do. So
did everyone watch the
there we go. There you go, Leo.
The behind the scenes stuff for season 1? Do you think they'll do a season 2?
Yeah, it comes out on Christmas Day.
Yay! Just like Wonder Woman and the Pixar, Soul.
But I think it's only one episode.
Christmas if you have to stay inside.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a full. I think it's one episode though.
So it's one episode.
Yeah. So, but with Mandalorian having the Darksaber and beating Moff Gideon to get it, that adds a very interesting twist and opens up a whole new storyline for him. And I think that's going to be very interesting because he's a reluctant hero. We've seen it. He doesn't want to be the hero. He just wants to do his job. And taking on the child was something that he broke his bounty hunter code to save because he knew he had to save him. I think now with him with the Darksaber, you literally going to have someone who's going to be thrust in this Mandalore story, which he doesn't want to be, and I'm curious to see how that comes about. So.
When do you think we're going to get Moff Gideon's story about how he got it? Probably in a Marvel comic book, maybe?
No, I bet you it's going to be like somewhere like animated, like in the Bad Batch or something like that.
Ooh, very cool. When does that start? Is that going to be in February like Clone Wars did this year?
No, December, they said.
A year? Oh my god.
Well, there's no Mandalorian season 3.
No new Star Wars content for a year.
Yeah. Well, because they said they're taking a break from Mandalorian to do the Boba Fett show. So there's going to be no Mandalorian until 2022.
And of course, if everyone wants to watch Pedro Pascal, they can watch him on Wonder Woman on Christmas Day because he's Maxwell Lord.
So
that's interesting.
Pedro Pascal,
which, by the way, he played Steve Trevor in the 2000s made-for-TV Wonder Woman pilot that never became a series. The one where Wonder Woman has the pants.
With Adrian Palicki.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Somebody posted that earlier.
Yeah.
So Pedro Pascal was on Game of Thrones, unfortunately, and he now has greatness thrust upon him. So is he gonna say throughout the episode he done want it?
Huh?
It's a Game of Thrones reference.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
No, okay. Somebody, they want him to be king, and he keeps on saying, "I done want it." He doesn't want to be king.
What about what's it called? If you were in a Harry Potter movie, a Star Wars movie, a comic book movie, is a hat trick? Has he pulled that off yet?
No, he wasn't in any. It's Harry Potter.
Okay, was he in Lord of the Rings?
Nope.
Okay, so he still has a couple to do, and there's an Amazon Prime series coming, so maybe he'll be on the Amazon Prime show.
I think his plate's full.
Yeah. So I agree with you that Baby Yoda, Grogu is gone for now. I think he's going to come back, but I could see them spending next season, him going to Mandalore, him, trying to. Find his way within, since he's taken his mask off now, find his way with this new culture and, maybe rebuild it.
I don't know. Like I said, it's one of those things where I just think, he's going to try to find a way to get out of this because I think he just wants to. I don't think he wants to be with the other Mandalorian. I think he wants to be with his Mandalorian unit, which he can't do now. Like you said, now that he's taken off the helmet multiple times.
Yep.
We'll see. Like I said, I think you're going to see a lot more of the Empire because like the one thing you got to remember, and I don't think anybody else noticed this, is in the episode where he on the Imperial base. The scan didn't stop him. So that means he's in the Imperial database.
Okay, so I took that as he wasn't in the database as somebody wanted.
No, I think you have to be in it. Because remember they said you have to be a registered. That's why they needed Bill Burr's character.
Well, maybe he's registered because when he was human, when he was human, you know what I mean? When he was that little kid, maybe all citizens of the Republic get registered, kind of like driver's licenses, and that's how he's in there. Huh?
How is his faith reconstruction? It was a facial scan.
Yeah.
I got it.
So my question is, how is that possible? So is there? Does he know the Imperial more than what he's leading on to? Or was he? Because, like I said, you see in the flashback in season 1 where his planet was attacked by the Separatist droid army. So was when he became a part of the Mandalore, was he indoctrinated at that point? But I feel like that would have been towards the end of the Clone War, which at that point in time, Mandalore was destroyed.
What? No, Mandalore was still running by the time Rebels was around, wasn't it?
Well, you had the Siege of Mandalore at the end of Clone Wars.
Okay, right.
And the Clone Wars is the Siege of Mandalore, what they led up for 2 seasons.
Well, here's my question. The last person, I rewatched Rebels just really recently, and the last person to have the Darksaber was the graffiti Mandalorian girl. What's her name?
Bo-Katan.
No,
No, not
the
her.
one with the pink, the yellow skin and the pink and purple hair.
She's the one who made like the rebel logo.
Yeah.
I don't like. Yeah, so like stuff like, well, rumor had it she was supposed to be in this season.
Okay, so the person that was in the cloak in, I think, episode 2 in the water world area.
That was Sasha Banks from the WWE.
Did they ever reveal what her character was?
Yeah, she was one of the Mandalorians. She was the other girl with like the braids across her head.
Oh, okay.
She was one of. I mean, yeah, it was her and Bo-Katan that everyone was complaining about the armor being too was too ridiculous, and
because there's nothing else in this world to complain about.
I have cosplay friends that I asked that question about because I have a cosplay friend right now who's trying to do a sexy stormtrooper outfit, and I said, people don't like the boob armor on stormtroopers. She was like, F them. I love it. I loved it on The Mandalorian. I don't care. And some people are like, this is offensive. This is, too much. Why did you do this, Disney? You took 2 steps forward, but you took a giant leap back.
There's bulletproof vests for female officers who are curved to their shape. And they've even proved that if it's more contoured to the body, it's safer.
People just like to complain.
Who was the Imperial officer, the really short one that kept reporting to Moff Gideon? She's like a bodybuilder. I saw photos of her working out, but I couldn't catch her name.
She was in Supergirl. She was in Batwoman. She's been in a bunch of stuff. She's a good secondary villain.
Yeah, definitely. And she's like, again, she's like buttoned up to her chin in that suit, but she is like jacked like crazy.
Yeah. So we've definitely been dancing around the big reveal.
Yeah.
In it, which this is where my interpretation of the season finale kind of alters.
Okay.
It could have been nobody else but Luke Skywalker. Like, I'm getting that off my chest. It couldn't have been anybody else. Because at that point in time,
What about that famous Jedi, the one that's a rebel that has like the eyeshadow and the black dreads?
I didn't watch Rebels.
Oh, okay.
Ezra from Rebels.
No, not Ezra, but he's a character that keeps appearing in like expanded media, and he's appeared in the Disney expanded media of like going, oh yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, in going back to that scene they said on top of the mountain, you see 2 people on top of the mountain. And I actually watched it with Jen and Logan again, and you do see 2 different people, and then next scene you just see 1.
Yep.
So again, it's one of those things, and during that time, that Luke is looking for Jedi artifacts, they're looking for other Jedi. That's been established in Battlefront, that's been established in some of the other Aftermath books, stuff like that. That he's out there searching for Jedi artifacts and other people who are Jedis to kind of train them. So there was nobody else to do that. But the lead up to it, the reveal was really, really cool. I like how that's been his outfit, is the Return of the Jedi black outfit has been his go-to since Return of the Jedi, which I very much enjoy. But for me, it was very much the whole scene where he reveals himself and you have Cara Dune there. I'm sorry. If I was in the rebellion and I fought this war and Luke fucking Skywalker is standing in front of me, I'd be like, holy fuck, it's Luke Skywalker. Like, you blew up a Death Star. And
flying the same X-Wing from, I didn't know that. That's the same X-Wing he's been flying since
Empire?
No, A New Hope. That's his.
How's that possible?
Well, okay, so this is where the expanded universe comes in. In the Marvel comic book series that's currently running right now, which takes place between Empire and Jedi, they explain how Luke gets his X-wing back, because he goes looking for his hand. He goes looking for his hand and his lightsaber, and he goes looking for Lando wants to check in on his people because he just left his entire city in Imperial care.
Yeah.
And he's like, by the way, while we're there, I'm going to grab my X-wing. And he's like, yeah, you do that. I'm going to go check out my people. Oh yeah, I have to go rescue my buddy Forlom with the the robotic braids. And Luke doesn't find his lightsaber, but someone else does, and it's very ambiguous about who it is. but because obviously that lightsaber would show back up in the hands of the little short alien in the Force Awakens. Yeah, that's how Luke gets his lightsaber back. It's in a Star Wars Marvel comic book.
More synergy, but like for me, that reveal was like, you know, very well done. And then more that like Mark Hamill was on set. That was Mark Hamill doing the stand-up, you know, scenes, not the action scenes, but the actual like talking scenes. That was very cool. And like how Mark Hamill says, I can't believe we kept this a secret for over a year. But like for me, it was just one of those things. Like I saw it, I was like, oh, that's awesome, that's cool. It kind of touches it, like, and then it turned into like, I wish they didn't. Like the whole thing about Mandalorian was it wasn't involved with the Skywalker saga. Like, and anytime they reference, like they didn't even reference any, like the Death Star was like the extent, and Alderaan was like the extent of like that, and Endor and certain little points, but that was like it. And they kind of started continue building the lore. But again,
Chris.
Sorry, that was very cool when he calls the rebels terrorists, and what you killed over 1 million people on both Death Stars, the price of Alderaan pays for it or something like that. That's the first time ever we've ever gotten like the Imperial side of like, you murdered all my friends. I don't care what side of politics you're on, you murdered everyone I've ever known.
Yeah, well, I think that was interesting. Empire. Well, I thought that was interesting too when you saw her, like you've watched the scene, she clenches her jaw. She kind of like grits a little bit and turns her head, being like, all of your friends? Like,
I lost mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, my cousins, my dog, my cat, my hamster, my gerbil, my science teacher. That whole scene, by the way, reminds me of the Kevin Smith scene in Clerks where they're talking about they were Imperial contractors on the Death Star.
Or if it was just random. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was very much, like I said, I knew that's where it had to go. And it was really cool to see it. And like I said, Jen's like, who is that? And then the second you saw the black glove and the green lightsaber, I was like, oh, that's Luke. Like that's Luke. Because there's nobody else that you know of that has a green lightsaber in a black right hand. Like, so, you know, it was very emotional. Like they built it up with the music and the sound, and the acting was very much on par. But again, it goes back to, they can't win with these facial reconstruction things compared to what like Marvel does, and then compared to what they do. I'm like, guys, share the technology. Like, and then you have people doing like a deep fake, which is even better than that was. Because then I was watching the scene, I'm like, Leo was fucking right. That's Sebastian Shaw stands. That's Sebastian Stan right there. That's him right there. Like, you motherfucker. Leo was right. You son of a bitch.
It wasn't Sebastian Stan. I don't know who it was, but they even a deep fake, you know, even on the friggin' apps that you get for your phone would have been better than that. But it's in the moment, it's very forgivable because, you know, watching, I have to admit, you know, and I posted this, I was bawling my friggin' eyes out. You know,
it was emotional. It was really, really emotional. And, you know, to the point where like he puts him down and like, you have to go. And he's at his feet looking up. I'm a dad. I get that with Harrison some days when he doesn't want to go to the sitters or he doesn't want to go to bed. He looks up at me like, Dad, like, no, I don't want to go. Like, and it's just like, like just stab your heart a little bit. Yeah. So like, I just thought it was so well done. It was, again, it came down to the pacing, especially when like the Dark Troopers are right where they get into the bridge and you just see him like all is lost. Like he knows what's going to happen.
Yep.
Like, you know, and you saw that look, and then when you hear the X-Wing, like, oh, an X-Wing, great, we're saved. And then you kind of see him perk up a little bit. And I was like, oh, yay. Like, it was kind of stuff like that was very enjoyable. But again, it was just, that was such a well-paced scene. And it built at the right time. And it was like, you don't get a lot of those scenes. I can't remember a scene like that in the sequel trilogy. I can't think of one. The closest thing I can think of, like that one scene, like, or that type of pacing, was the conversation between Yoda and Luke in Last Jedi.
Yep.
Like the pacing of that whole scene was very well done. In nothing else has come close to that, and this was very well, like that even topped that scene. So, but then you learn that, like, if that's the case, then Kylo Ren's a bigger dick than we thought he was.
Well, so I've been watching some breakdown videos, and going by Yoda's age, Yoda was a master at age 100. By time Grogu reaches that time that Kylo takes everything down, he's going to be around like 85. So there's a good chance that Grogu left already. I'm hoping, since there's a very good chance they're going to bring Ezra into the Ahsoka series. You know, he did the time travel thing to save Ahsoka. Maybe they retcon the entire sequel trilogy.
And also, what about Hera and Caden's son? He's half a Jedi, half a Twi'lek. Wouldn't he be a Jedi possibly? Dave Filoni's continuity is strong with the Force, so
yeah.
Again, is this from Rebels?
Or Rebels.
I haven't seen Rebels.
A pale-skinned, green-haired kid shows up sitting next to Hera, which is to assume that him and Caden had a kid. You know, they had one night together before he dies, and they have a kid, and he's possibly a Jedi, but we haven't seen anything or heard anything from him since the finale of Rebels.
Yeah, the only Rebels episodes I've seen were the ones with Ahsoka in it, because I was trying to get caught up. So I'm
I had to show everybody, but Logan, because I've seen that one scene where he fights Darth Vader, where she learns that Darth Vader's Anakin. Shocker, spoilers.
I thought she knew, or I don't know. It's probably a different episode. Sorry.
Well, she found out when he's in the TIE fighter and he's shooting at them. That's when she reaches out with the Force with Caden, and that's when Vader looks up at the camera and breaks the fourth wall and looks directly at the audience and says, "So the apprentice lives." And then she is flooded with every memory of the Clone Wars alongside Anakin.
Yeah,
Vader does that intentionally to be like, "Yes, I was once Anakin Skywalker, and here is a mind fuck of a headache."
Well, now that Rebels and Clone Wars are having more of an impact on the current storyline, I need to go back and watch them. I've been putting it off for a while. I watched some Clone Wars.
I'm on season 5 of Clone Wars.
Yeah,
I just got to the Darth Maul's been reintroduced into the picture.
Yeah.
The guy who voices Darth Maul, I forget his name. He was Star Killer in those Force Unleashed video games. That actor is amazing as Darth Maul, and every scene Darth Maul is in is dark, it's sinister, it's everything you want.
So with everything that happened, Grogu goes along with Luke for his training. Din takes off his mask, so he reveals himself to everybody, so he has to leave his order.
We'll see about that.
What's that?
We'll see about that.
Well, I mean, that's what the Lady Mandalorian said.
But that order has been disbanded already.
Yeah, didn't they all get killed by by Moff Gideon and the crew?
No, they all as a group took off their armor and escaped.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Katie Sackhoff come on as a full-time regular for that show, you know, or not regular, but you know what I mean, recurring character.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think she would be fantastic. I mean, she's really good. I mean, I love her in Battlestar and almost everything that she's in. My one problem though with Bo-Katan being kind of there, I wouldn't mind her becoming the villain in season 3. Because again, you've already seen that the Mandalorian's ethics don't line up with hers. And the only way for her to get the Darksaber is for her to best him in combat. Like, and actually we had this conversation in the car ride today with Logan. He doesn't get like why the story matters. Like why she wouldn't just take the sword. And we had a whole discussion about that, which I thought was like very interesting. And I love how Moff Gideon knew that, being like, see, she won't take it. He's such a good villain. Yeah. Oh my God, he's so good.
Yeah, a lot of people say that he should play, because Disney already has him on retainer. He should play Doctor Doom.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, that's what 2022 is that supposed to come out? So.
Right, and I really hope they do not do Doom again. It's like, guys, the Fantastic Four have other villains that are really cool and could make amazing looking characters on screen, you don't need to do Doctor Doom again. We've had him 4 times, if you count the Roger Corman movie.
Well, 5th time's the charm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like even though like he doesn't get a ton of screen time in the movie or the show, actually, like I mean, in the screen that he does have, it's like really, really well done. You know, like I said, just that conversation being like, just for all intents and purposes, I know everything. Like, just don't even like, I know exactly what's going on. I know all the beats that are happening right now. But I love like how he's like, all I want is the kid. And then when he knew that Bo-Katan was there, he goes, okay, have the kid, and then attacked him, which was like an awesome scene. Like that whole battle was awesome.
Oh,
it just shows.
Do you think he attacked the Mandalorian on purpose to lose on purpose?
No, I don't think he meant to lose. I think he thought he could beat him, but at the end of times he goes, it was a win-win for him regardless. Because he knew that, because he said the second he figured out that Bo-Katan was on the ship with him, the wheel started to turn, I think, being like, okay, well, I'm not going to let her get what she wants.
Do you think he realized as soon as he heard her voice? Because she's on the intercom.
Maybe, like I said, I don't know, I can't tell, but that whole sequence is actually like really good too, where he goes, the whole like Boba Fett thing with being like, you know, he's like, if I wanted to shoot you down, I would shoot you down. Like don't mess with me. So but like I actually, it was funny, we were watching it and with the guy like who was in the hangar, I was like, is that Kevin Feige? I was like, is that Kevin Feige? Like, it was like a quick look. I'm like, oh, it's not Kevin Feige. Like, that would have been awesome if he was like Kevin Feige right there. Yeah. But yeah, then of course Boba Fett just takes care of whatever's left and was like, bye.
It's very funny. The Mandalorian ends, of course, right in time for Christmas, and iTunes and several other sites have reported that one of the most downloaded, or bought movies or streamed films for Christmas right now is Elf. Because Jon Favreau's, just looping it right back in circles.
That's all that matters. Go see Swingers too.
Oh my God, Swingers! Oh, watch. I'm watching his chef show on Netflix right now.
It's really good. Like he does like a lot of good sit downs with he does it with Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland. That's actually like a really good episode. So it's actually it's more of like a talk show, like comedians getting coffee in cars and stuff like that. So
got it. I didn't watch
and it's definitely connected to his movie Chef too, because the El Jefe truck cuts between scenes riding around as they travel, and the chef that he based the movie Chef on is his co-host.
Oh, nice. So with where do you think Mando's gonna go? I know we touched a little bit on it, but what are your thoughts? Because I refuse to believe Baby Yoda's gone.
He's gone.
I need more Baby Yoda in my life. I need a series with Luke and Baby Yoda.
No.
Training.
No.
Yes.
No.
You mean Luke with that face? With that?
No. So like maybe do it like 20 years in the future. And
by then everybody's dead.
Okay.
The Jedi Academy is gone.
10 years in the future. Current age Mark Hamill, whatever he can pull off, and
current age Mark Hamill is dead in the series.
Retcon it.
Oh my God, Leo, just stop. Like you got your 2 years of the baby.
Are you one of those people that says that the sequel trilogy doesn't exist, Leo?
No, I'm saying they need to retcon it. I'm saying it exists right now, but they need to do something in the show to retcon it because they fucked up.
They're not going to retcon it because if Disney's paying, if you're still getting checks with the mouse on the corner, they're not retconning it.
They didn't retcon the prequels. They're not going to retcon the sequels.
And the sequel trilogies actually reference the prequels more than the other way, more than the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did like the fact that the scientist that was working on Baby Yoda, they identified him as a clone scientist, which is interesting. That he could have been.
Knew that from his patch from episode 1.
That he was a clone scientist?
Yep. Yeah, it was a Geonosis patch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From the first ever episode, yeah.
See, in the expanded universe before the Disney acquisition, Geonosis was destroyed by the Separatists.
Yeah, I read. Well, I think that carried over too, because it feels like that's something that they talk. Because I think there's like multiple battles of Geonosis. Not Geonosis. Geonosis is a different planet. We're talking about a different planet. Geonosis is the planet with the bugs.
Camino.
Yeah, there's multiple battles of Camino. I think at the end, I think the Empire destroys it after the Clone War, so they can't clone any more troopers, and that's why you get the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
What I want is the story of when does the First Order, the Empire, whatever, the bad guys, decide, hey, you know what worked for the Jedi? Kidnapping children, or just, forcibly convincing parents that we need to take the kids when they're babies to turn them into super soldiers, when they're adults, which is, Finn's and the woman he meets on the,
Lando's daughter.
Yeah, Lando's daughter. I don't remember her name, but that was that confirmed, or was that confirmed in the expanded universe book?
I think they just took them over on planets they took over. I think that's how they got their army.
Okay.
But again, for me, like Jen made a joke being like, "What does the armor do? What does it do? Like, I mean, it looks like you just shoot them with a laser, they're down. Like, okay, look, what did that do? Like, just put them in the black shirt.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the case,
they even shared with what's that, Chris?
The chili covered potatoes.
Oh, nice. Even Bobo was like shattering helmets left and right with his.
Yeah, like, what does it do?
There's an episode of Family Guy where they're like, why do we wear this armor? It's completely useless. And then they just get like ripped apart.
Basically.
Well, and as we know from Luke, you can't see a thing in that helmet.
Exactly.
Did you realize McClunky was said at the end?
What?
Bib Fortuna said McClunky when he got shot.
Did?
Okay. Yep. And what does that mean?
So, you haven't watched Star Wars on Disney Plus?
No. Why? What?
What?
I have like 18 versions of like you gave me the real version of them.
Is McClunky some type of code word?
Okay, so when hand shoots Greedo yells McClunky.
Oh.
So they added that in. That's the latest Lucas edit or Disney edit or whatever. But apparently McClunky was said in episode 1 with the four-legged guy that races Anakin.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a boba.
So I think McClunky is going to be the new Wilhelm Scream in Star Wars. And
awesome.
It's translated to "This will be the end of you."
Okay.
That's different.
That is different.
Is that going to replace the... did anyone in The Mandalorian, by the way, say I've got a bad feeling about this?
No, I don't think so.
Damn it. I thought maybe Kara... that brings up another good point. But yeah, I thought the shock trooper did the ground, the female Kara.
Yeah, Cara Dune.
Yeah. Do you think she's coming back after what has been revealed about her opinions?
Yes. I think she's going to be part of the Rangers of the New Republic.
Okay.
Because they've set that up pretty good in a couple episodes, being like, there's something going out in the Outer Rim, and we're going to find out what.
Okay.
Her fight scene on the ship was awesome when she her gun jammed and she just starts laying waste with him.
Well,
I'm so happy.
I'll put it this way with I think, there'd be bigger issue if she got taken off the show for that.
Yeah.
Because she is a fan favorite. And a lot, like I said, it hasn't gone to certain points to some other people and that are out there. But if it gets to a point, I can see Disney sitting her down being like, you either got to find a new social media platform or you can't do this. But I think Disney's gotten their hands slapped plenty of times for kicking people off shows and movies for voicing their opinion. You can't fault her for being if that's what she believes in, that's what she believes in. If it gets to the level of certain people in this country, I think at that point in time you have to interject. But I don't think she said anything super definitive. I don't follow her on Twitter or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, look at James Gunn. They have him doing a Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
I have a feeling that was more James Gunn being like, I'm going to be stupid right now and have some fun.
Was there anything we didn't cover?
No, I mean, like I said, I think we talked about what was coming up, what's going to happen. I think the season as a whole was good. I still think the first season's a little bit better. Just because I think the second season turned very much into a checklist of like, okay, I have to go here and I have to do something for you now. Like, okay, then I got to do something for that person. I think the Ahsoka episode is still, I think, my favorite one. Out of the series, next to the episode like we were talking about before, where they're on the Imperial base and he talks about Operation Cinder. Yeah. And how like the guy is just arrogant, like assholes, like, and you learn more about that character and stuff. So stuff like that, like the episode where you had more character development of some of the side characters, I very, very much enjoyed. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm optimistic. I think the ending the Baby Yoda story in the way it did is definitely going to make the longevity of the show better. And I think you got that with that episode prior where Baby Yoda wasn't in it, and the show kept trucking along. The question is how mundane do you get boiled down to the whole Mandalore plot? Like, is it something where it's going to be a 2-episode arc, or how long is the show going to go? I would love Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni being like, it's 5 seasons, that's it, we're done. That's the end of the show, because at that point there's an end date on this show. And to see where they're going to take it, I think it'd be very interesting. I hope it's just not open-ended, because I think the story could get very boiled down very quickly if you do a ton of crossover with other stuff in the Star Wars genre. Like I said, I don't mind the dips into like Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff like that, but if they just dive in 100%. I think you're gonna lose a lot of people, because I don't think they're gonna go watch 7 seasons of Clone Wars, or they're gonna watch 5 or 6 seasons of Rebels to figure out this one person, or they're gonna go on YouTube and watch clips and not getting the contents of where you got there.
Well, the good thing about this, though, and I've said this about other shows as well, is it's short seasons. Trying to get into Rebels and Clone Wars, you're looking 20-something episodes a season.
Yeah.
So it's a little tough to get.
Mandalorian has to be short. It cost $10 million to make an episode?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the norm now for good streaming shows, to keep it at 10, 12 episodes a season. That's.
I would be surprised if that price tag has come down, because the technology's already been developed. I think a lot of that upfront cost was developing that technology.
Yeah, and that technology is that room, that spinning monitor.
Well, they said they built 3 more?
Yeah.
They said it across the country or across the world. They built one in Australia, Los Angeles, London, and somewhere. I think that was the 3 places, or San Francisco or something like that. So they're literally they're making more and more shows like that.
Yeah.
Which is great. You can't tell the difference. Like, you can't figure out where they are, which is fantastic.
Yeah, because the green screening effect is you can definitely pick it out now.
Because we know what to look for.
Yeah.
By the way, what's the name of the actor who plays the body of the Mandalorian?
Last season it was 3 people who played it, not Pascal. This one, I think it was 2, but they said Pedro played more of the Mandalorian this year because he wanted to be in the costume more often than he not.
And I'm glad that that's an actual costume he's wearing, and not like Robert Downey Jr., where he's just wearing like shoulder pads with 30 million dots on his body and a camera in front of his face.
Yeah. So like I remember they were saying in the gallery show, there was a guy who was better at hand-to-hand combat. There's a better guy who was a better shooter, a better draw, like a quick draw guy, and stuff like that. So, but this season I know the guy said he wanted to be in it more than not, because I think he said doing the voiceover stuff didn't feel the same watch him on the screen, and he didn't feel like he gave a good enough performance. But yeah, no, I'm with you, Chris. It's funny when you see like Robert Downey Jr. with like the shoulder pads or like the gauntlet with fingers and stuff like that on there. But like I said, that was something after Iron Man 1 because he wore the suits in Iron Man 1. He goes, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
Right. And some people complain about like the reviewers have reviewed like, you see Mark Ruffalo in the Hulkbuster armor, and it's the most ridiculous thing that he's like this floating head in that Hulkbuster armor.
Well, one thing is I think we will definitely see more Pedro Pascal next season. At least I hope we do.
I mean, like I said, I'm with you because like I said, that performance he gave. And again, it's one of those things. If you're a parent and you're dropping your kids off at school, it's just like, and the little like when he touched his face and he saw he smiled for a second. I sat there, I was like, dude, like, and there was nothing said. It was one of those like awesome performances where he didn't say anything. It was all in the emotion. It was all in how it was shot. It was all with that, and it was just like that was a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
I have that same reaction with my son. This year has been really difficult to try to share custody of a kid. And it has been constantly, whenever I've had him, or the limited times that I've been able to, get together, it has been like that kind of moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. And like I said, just seeing that scene where you realize this is the best thing for him, but he still has to say goodbye. And not really knowing who this person is and if he's going to be doing the right thing. I sat there, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I still don't. You're right. How did they not know that that's Luke Skywalker?
Especially Kara.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a dropshipper.
Wasn't she on Endor, she said?
She fought. Yeah, she fought on Endor.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So she fought, according to Marvel Comics, she fought alongside the parents of Oscar Isaac's character.
Yeah.
And wouldn't she also fight with Rex? Aren't they putting Rex on Endor?
That one old man in the side of the bunker. Yeah.
What was I going to say? Well, I would have to rewatch that episode. Actually, that's an episode I kind of wanted to rewatch because I love how the ATST looks in that episode. Oh, yeah. Awesome. With the red eyes.
Yep.
Just because me and Jen watched Rogue One and we watched Jedi this past weekend, which again, Rogue One, best Star Wars movie in the last 30 years. So, and I kind of was like,
Solo. No, kidding.
What? There's a Solo movie? Huh? What?
I haven't.
In all fairness, I think the Solo movie is a lot better than people give it credit for. It's not a Star Wars movie, and that's what makes it a great movie.
I need to rewatch. I only saw it at the theater, and that was it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. But I've had no desire to rewatch it, so that's kind of where I am on it. Like I've had just no desire.
Yeah. I have to tell you though, watching Mandalorian, I really have an urge to rewatch the first 6 movies.
Like I said, I've kind of just jumped around a little bit. I watched some of Revenge of the Sith the other day, which was just I still like that movie. I think it's the best out of the prequels, just because of the storytelling, and you learn, let me tell you the tale of Dark Plagueis, which is still like one of the best scenes in Star Wars. Yeah. Because you find out later on that you're the one who killed him, like you killed like that's you. You're literally talking about yourself.
Yeah.
And again, that's just Ian McDermott just being like awesome. So, it's just like I said, for me, I can watch 3, 4, 5, and 6 on repeat some days. But for me, I started watching because I like the Battle of Coruscant, and I was like, well, then that got me to go back and continue watching Clone Wars because I want to see them get to that point. Because when you get to episode season 7 is where Revenge of the Sith and Clone War finally meet up, and you start getting that stuff like Order 66 and stuff like that.
There's a great piece of fan art that came out for the finale of Mandalorian and it just says Star Wars. Below it, it says, I am a Jedi, like my father before me. And it has Luke doing, it's like 2 images of Luke doing killing those shock troopers. But on the floor, it's Anakin and Vader half and half.
Oh, wow.
It's a really cool couple pieces of art. I don't know if it's official or if it was someone's like, they're just a super talented artist and Disney hired this person. But it was pretty awesome. That after seeing that art and I rewatched the episode, that's exactly what I kept hearing in my head when Luke showed up, knowing it was him finally, that I am a Jedi like my father before me. And that moment was like Rogue One, like you said, James, like the end of the movie where Vader is just fucking killing the rebels, and then Luke is doing the exact same thing with the Super Troopers.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was just one of the. And the funny, it goes back to know that the Vader scene was something added in post in the reshoots. Makes it even more intense. But like I said, for me, I hope now, they met up with Luke, and it's going to kind of go back to where it was, where it's like it's just in the galaxy. Hopefully they'll go to some of the planets they've talked about, and they've mentioned, maybe they'll go there. Like I said, I would love to see Mandalore in real life. Whatever's left of it, according to the Mandalorian, it's beaded glass because the Empire just like bombed it to all hell. Yeah. So like I said, it's like I said earlier, they close a lot of the loose ends. But again, it's one of those things where he goes, we have their blood. We have its blood. That's all I wanted. Like, I'm done with him. So where did that blood go? Was that now in the unknown regions? Is that where Snoke becomes Snoke? Like, do they need that to bring back the Empire? Is that part of Operation Cinder? Like,
well, we got a Snoke already in the background.
I know, but like, I mean, like, is this like, did it go to is it on Exegol? Like, is it over with the Emperor? Like, is that how the Emperor kind of comes back and lives off a little bit? Like you could go down, like we talk about the Imperial line. Like that's a line you can kind of start going down a little bit. Maybe they'll do it in the extended universe, or they'll do it in some books and stuff like that. Who knows? But like, yeah, it is. I'm happy. I'm satisfied with it. I got my year. I have a year break before I see more live action Star Wars. I don't know how I'll do with the Boba Fett show. Boba Fett was never really one of my favorite characters. But I like the female assassin.
Yep.
And I want to see more of her.
You mean Chun-Li from Street Fighter?
And Mulan from the animated show. Yeah, her.
Ming-Na Wen from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, like I want more of seeing her being a badass that she is.
Yeah. And now that she's like part robotic too.
Yeah, like I said, it's just one of those interesting things now that Boba Fett is ahead of the Hutts. But I thought the Hutts were dead. Like the Hutt clan was destroyed. Like I thought Jabba the Hutt was the last Hutt.
Well, because when he went, it was just Bib Fortuna there. There was only a couple of people there.
But there was one of those things because didn't the Marshal in the first episode say the Hutts were no more? They didn't have claim to Tatooine anymore.
I think so. Yeah.
Because after the Empire left and the Hutts disappeared, it was like free for all.
Yeah. So I don't think he's. Well, what do you think Boba Fett's going to do?
I think he's just going to kick ass and take names.
Yeah.
I think he has. I think he's going to go on a revenge tour.
Are they going to bring a Han into it?
Maybe. But again, what are you going to? Maybe that's how you get that kid back into the series. Like who knows? But it takes place 5 years after Endor, so it's like, what do you do? Like, again, it's these shows I want to see more of, but I don't want them to go over into the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
Like, just acknowledge that the New Republic is there. I don't want them running into R2-D2. I don't want them running into Wedge Antilles. I don't want them running into these other characters that we already know. Give me new characters. Give me the Marshal. Give me, the in the Ahsoka episode, the magistrate, whatever her name was, that like give me more of those original characters and build off of it. Acknowledge all you want about the Skywalker and the current state of the galaxy and the New Republic and the remnants of the Empire and the birth of the First Order. Give me all of that, but give me it on the edges of the story. Don't make it the story.
Unless it includes.
No, pew, like.
I gotta jet.
Okay. Well, Chris, where can people find you?
When does our show start, Leo?
We're going to be starting that middle of January.
That's where people can find me on the Dorkening Network for now. Radio of Horror, I got what do I have coming up? I got people coming up. I don't even know who the guest is coming up soon.
Okay.
We just had on Lance Guest and Catherine Mary Stewart from The Last Starfighter.
That is awesome.
Ooh.
And you guys have someone special coming up soon. I don't know if you've announced that yet.
I have not announced it yet.
It's gonna be a Christmas. Gonna be a Christmas prize.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Okay. I won't say anymore.
Why don't you end it with what do you want for Christmas? What's one of the things you're wishing for Christmas?
Oh my God! Have you seen that Master Collector's Snake Mountain that came out?
Yeah. Oh my God, that looks awesome.
I want that so badly, but that was like Unicron and the Mandalorian ship and the Cookie Monster. That was print to order.
Yep. Well, thank you for joining us, Chris. We'll let you go.
Thank you, Chris.
Merry Christmas, gentlemen.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.
So Leah, where do you want the show to go? No, take Baby Yoda. You gotta take him away. He's in a better place. He's in a better place.
Well, honestly, I do want them to retcon the sequels, but if they don't do that, I think they should really show the growth of Din. Really becoming one with the Mandalorians, not the group that all went away, but the true Mandalorians trying to rebuild Mandalore. It's a little fun having the RPG elements. You need to save this person to get the staff and whatnot, but that gets a little tiring. So I don't want it to get political, but I want to see more adventures. And I think him trying to rebuild Mandalore and trying to do quests could be good. What about you?
I'm with you too. Like I said, I definitely want to see him go more in the Mandalorian lore. Like I said before, I can definitely see him being a bad guy, or Katie Sackhoff's character being a bad guy.
Yeah.
And being the main foil to him, because I feel like there's going to be a point where we're going to catch up in the story after some time had passed, of course. And he's just going to be a bounty hunter again. And then she's always going to be chasing him because she has to best him in combat. Yeah. So who knows what that's going to be? What if, does he meet up with Bill Burr character? Does he go back to Carl Weathers? Does he work with Cara Dune? Like what exactly? He has a bunch of options out there because the way that episode ended is you don't know what he is going to do. Yeah. And how he's going to respond to this.
And also what ship he's going to have. We know.
Well, I think Bubba came and picked them up because they I think that was alluded to.
Wait, repeat that?
Well, Boba Fett came to pick him up. How do you think the other bounty hunter got with him to go take Jabba's palace? They also have the light cruiser too. Like they had another ship.
You think they left him slave one?
No. I think Boba Fett has slave one.
Okay.
But supposedly Boba Fett was going to come back.
Yeah. No. Yeah, but what ship is?
I don't know. He might be on the light cruiser, or he might have another random ship. He looks like he has plenty of money to buy a ship.
Yeah, because he got double the bounty because Moff is alive.
Yeah, so he got double the amount. So who knows? Like I said, the vagueness of the end of that episode helps.
Yep.
So it wasn't like we're going to Mandalore. Like we're like, no, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't even know what's happening with Baby Yoda. All you know he's with Luke Skywalker. So.
And they haven't said when we're getting season 3.
Yeah, 2022.
2022.
Yep. So they're taking a year off to do Boba Fett, and then they're going to do season 3. Which is good. Like, let the show, it goes back to what I've been saying for five years. I've been in the show for 5 years, the network. How can I miss you if you won't go away? So go away for a little while. Let us digest some new Star Wars. and then they'll come back, and we'll go from there. In 2022, I think that's when we get our first. Is that when we get the Taika Waititi Star Wars, or is that when we get Rogue Squadron? We get one of them. Yeah. I think we get Rogue Squadron in 2022. So, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm excited. It's like I said, there's plenty of plot threads out there. They've kind of put breadcrumbs out there. So Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau has a good grasp on it. Like I said, Robert Rodriguez is doing the Boba Fett show, which I think is going to be really, really good. So we'll see how that goes. So,
yeah,
but
we're definitely, not going to be starving of content. There's definitely going to be more stories. Yeah.
And I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied of what we have. I don't want any more, but I'm happy what I have.
Yeah.
So, if it was really bad, like I said, and I think that's what a season finale should feel like. You're satisfied of what you watched, and you can wait to the next season. You don't want more right away. And it wasn't a cliffhanger. It wasn't both season finales. Both season finales, they weren't cliffhanger episodes, which it was good because you could digest what you saw.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Well, I'm still gonna be hoping that we're gonna get more Baby Yoda.
Oh, look at that! Your Baby Yoda cat.
Yeah,
that's adorable. Anyway, it's pretty awesome.
So, what do you want for Christmas, James?
A babysitter? No, realistically, there's, I would love. I mean, it was always interesting. I sent a comic to Jen this week. It was like all through the year, I want this, I want that, I want that. But then when somebody asks you what you want for Christmas, you're like, socks?
Yeah.
Where? I don't know what Jen got me, which is fantastic because every year we figure out what we got each other pretty easily because we always shop with each other.
Yeah.
But I don't know what she got me, and she doesn't know what I got her, which is nice.
That's awesome.
I know what I got from my big gift this year is a Lego Ecto, which is nice.
Very cool.
So that's my big gift. And Jen was like, buy it because if you don't buy it, you're never going to find it again. Like she was just like, just do it. Like we have the money, just do it.
Yeah.
For me, it's interesting because I think this Christmas is going to be very reflective for a lot of people. And by the way, fantastic card. Thank you very much. I got it the other day.
You're welcome.
You got my card yet or no?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. So and it was very interesting because, and I talked about this on my show. It's Go Time with Jay and James. New episode out today. We talked about songs, and the one song that popped in my mind this year was "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." And the reason that came into my mind is just because reflective of how this year is. And if you know the song, so "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas," is if the fates allow, we'll meet again, and if we'll have to muddle through somehow. And until then, have a Merry Christmas. And that line kind of resonates a little bit this year because we want to see each other. I can't see you, but if the fates allow, I will see you next year. I will see you soon. And I thought that was very prudent and very, very, very interesting. Actually, listening to the lyrics this year for that song, and just the way the state of the world is, and how I'm not going to my dad's, how we haven't seen each other personally other than from a distance. Goddamn 10 bags of yarn. But we haven't been in the same room recording. I haven't seen really my dad. I haven't seen my mom. I haven't seen my mom since September of last year when Harrison was born. So it's been a while since I've seen her. So, I want my friends and family to be safe. I want them to be healthy. I want, I brought up some very interesting facts on the show. It was like, I would love, if you don't know, have you ever heard of the Christmas Armistead?
No.
So do yourself a favor and Google, our listeners, Google Christmas Armistead. It was back in World War I, where on Christmas Day, and I think it was 1914, I think it was 1915 maybe, or one of those years, on the Western Front, there was a armistice between the German and Allied troops where they got out of their holes. They crossed no man's land. They shook hands. They shared food. They shared stories. They sang. They played soccer. They interacted with themselves as humans And in the middle of the war, in the middle of no man's land, these two people who 24 hours earlier were shooting at each other and trying to kill each other came together and celebrated Christmas. And then they went back to killing each other. It was a 24-hour truce.
Wow.
If we could have that, I would love that. If for one freaking day we can just stop yelling at each other and listen and just be cordial. And I think that's what Christmas always has that hope. Like Christmas Eve is always one of those nights where you feel there's the possibility for change and you feel the possibility for good things to come. So, for our listeners out there, I always look at the end of Scrooged, be the change, you pick up the phone, call a friend you don't know, especially this year, just do good. And, if for one day we could all just get along, red, blue, male, female, dog, cats, all that stuff, I would be a happy man. What about you, Liam? I got very philosophy. I went really philosophical.
No. That's great. It's very well said. Myself, I'm a strange duck. I don't like getting gifts.
Oh, I'm with you, dude. I'll take gifts, but I love giving. I love giving gifts.
Exactly. So my joy is that my wife enjoys what that I got her. That it's something surprising. To see her joy. That's really what I want. And everything you said. Just it's.
You want your PS5 too?
I would like access to one. Yeah. If one, I don't want anybody to give me one, but if one was, if restocks were plenty,
after like in January, February, they're going to be a dime a dozen.
Oh yeah. After the scalpers, after Christmas and the scalpers get stuck with, a dozen systems and, they can't sell them for the $900,000 that, so, yeah, eventually, it'll happen. But I have, other things that, some bills that are popping up, I've been going to a doctor for the past month and I haven't seen a medical bill yet. So that's going to be just, I'm scared to see that.
Yeah. Well, don't forget you have your $600 coming to you. So just spend that wisely, please.
I believe that's been vetoed.
No, that was the defense bill. That wasn't the COVID bill.
Okay.
The defense bill is the one where it has the El Presidente didn't like the language in how social media companies cannot be prosecuted for libel or defamation.
I thought he was asking for 2,000 instead of 600, and that was
he is, but he's saying he's getting they're saying that he might just approve it anyway, just to approve it. Who knows? I don't know.
We don't know what's going to happen. But, because there's a lot of people in need, and it's just a lot of people getting evicted, and it's a sad state right now. So hopefully things will turn around, and we'll start seeing the light of the day in January.
Yep, definitely 100%.
Yep. But a PS5 access to one would be nice.
Definitely, I'm with you on that. That's my tax money going towards right there. My tax money at work.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I think we'll wrap things up. So you can try to get some rest there, my friend.
Santa comes tomorrow. Come on, got to put out your milk and cookies.
Oh yeah, and we got to prep for Wonder Woman.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be watching TV all day on Christmas.
Oh yeah, Wonder Woman, Soul, and now that episode
Mandalorian. Yep.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good day. So, where do you like people following you, James?
So if you want my personal stuff for my tweets and my Instagram, it's at LongTimeStorm. I rarely post stuff. Realistically, my Twitter account is me just making fun of people and retweeting for Funko Pops. But for my show, it's Go Time with Jay and James. We just dropped our Christmas episode today. Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animals was the title of it. It's our 18th episode. So check it out. It's Go Time with Jay and James. Just throw it in your podcast app and search for it. Check it out. Next week, we are going to be doing a year roundup. And then we hit 2021 with some good, hopefully some new stuff on the horizon. maybe YouTube channel, maybe more video content, more interviews, stuff like that. So we're gonna upgrade our software a little bit and kind of go from there. So be on the Outlook, be on the Outlook. That's right. For any updates on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, it's again, just search for It's Go Time with Jay and James. That's pretty easy to find. Or you can find me here every Wednesday, most Wednesdays, depending on Mr. Harrison, on the Dorkening Podcast Network on the flagship of the Dorkening.
And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. But more importantly, head on over to thedorkening.com, which you can find all the shows on the network and follow the awesome people on our shows, especially James. He does awesome stuff. And with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.